never working a day in not really working hard anyway. And I was able to be home for my youngest for when she needed me. Didn't have to ask a boss for permission or anything. But what I kept coming up against, and something that I kept finding with artists, is this mental idea of needing to be a starving artist. I need to suffer for my art. I can't actually make money. The only way you make money in art is if you're a graphic designer. I'm not a graphic designer. Jenny can attest. I'm not a graphic designer. I'm a calligrapher. So that's what I focused on. And what I learned is that art is a business. And once I opened my eyes to that, I realized that there is currently a trend in business where they're using artists to grow, innovate, create, and expand their businesses. So where do you find art in business? That's real easy. You find art in business, and I'm looking at some of my notes because otherwise I will ramble on and I don't want to do that to Campbell. You find it in your decor, okay? If you live in Fuquay, if you go to Anna's Pizzeria or Adcock Lore or Merrill Norman or even the community center, you will see all of these artists being shown and displayed, okay? So that's one way art's in business. The other way is obviously graphic design. The more appealing a piece is, I'm seeing faces right here, a logo, wonderfully done. You've got marketing material out there. If you do trade shows, it's real important that people can identify you. I mean, way back when I was a medieval nerd and I did a lot of studying on heraldry, which is medieval's way of branding. You needed to be able to tell if that person on the other side of the field was your enemy or your foe or your friend. And the way you did that was by looking at that shield, at that crest, and knowing what that crest was. So that crest needed to be able to be seen. That crest was needed to be able to be identified. Everybody knows Golden M. Everybody knows the red bullseye. Everybody knows these. They know the chili sign of Chili's. That is branding, and that comes from an artist. Now, art in business. Right now, art in business is being used predominantly by Fortune 500 companies. Their executives are now not only being looked at from an economic business studies major, but also they're starting to cultivate people who have a degree in fine arts, especially if you have a master's in fine arts. And what they have found is that these people who study fine arts and come into the business world are more innovative, are very creative. They think outside of the box, and they're very detail oriented. They can look at situations from multiple sides. Now, I'm not saying that only artists are able to do this, but because of our training as artists, because of the way we look at the world around us and we observe, we see things a lot of the times that others don't pick up. So these executive recruiting companies are looking at fine artists to take into various fields, pharmaceuticals, IT, technology, and now in the general financial sector. because our world is moving so fast, we now need to pivot. Now, I don't know how many of you pivoted March 22nd. We had to go from face-to-face meetings to Zoom meetings. We had to go from in a coffee shop one-to-ones to one-to-ones via Zoom or on phone calls, getting that same message out there without having those cues given to us from a face-to-face meeting. And what has happened is a lot of businesses who've had those kind of creative folks in their ranks have been able to pivot quickly. Okay, a lot of the artists that I know went from, oh no, my summer craft show has stopped because we can't do any face-to-face. They've pivoted. They've created online craft shows. They've done online First Fridays. I mean, Heather Eck was one of the first ones out there to do an online First Friday. And if you don't know Heather Eck, she's a wonderful artist in the local area. You've had people, I mean, Etsy has seen an enormous increase of artists learning to use that platform to pivot. Social media has grown exponentially. They're now using, a lot of artists are now using that platform to get their word out. Now in business, especially now with the election, you're seeing a lot of creative filmmakers. Some of these memes are just hilarious and mind-blowing. A lot of the New Yorker, does anybody read the New Yorker? Yeah, the New Yorker cartoons are now being sent around a lot more. You know, I see that going through my feed a lot from various people who I haven't seen do that before. So we're using visuals, we're using art to get our information out there, our names out there, and our products out there. Now, the Fuquay Varina Arts Council, our motto, our slogan, our, what do you call it, Jenny, vision is to cultivate vibrant communities by supporting emerging artists through education, engagement, and exhibition. We do that by supporting the working artist, the hobby artist, and the artist who's in between. Okay, one who's like, oh, I need to sell the 300 pieces of canvas that are in my garage or my husband's going to lose his mind, but they're not sure how to get that started. We do that by educating them how to run a small business. Because art's a business. That's all it is. It's a business. You have to market, you have to market, you have to market. And did I say you have to market to get your name out there? We do it with engagement by holding galleries around town. Last year we did student on plein air. It got canceled this year because of COVID. The Makers Market, which was a huge, huge success on Small Business Saturday. And through exhibition, again, gallery around town, giving our members an exclusive showing for a month. This time it was almost 2 months. COVID's been very good to the arts. I will tell you that right now. At the Fuquay Varina Arts Center. So this is what our local Arts Council is doing, and we don't just focus on Fuquay Varina. Unfortunately, keeping an organization like this running requires volunteers, required engaged members, and growing your board. So what we've done is we support Holly Springs because they lost their arts council. And we support Apex because they lost their arts council. We've been in existence for over 25 years. So if you are looking at how to pivot your business, okay, how to turn around and still be successful within the COVID lifetime right now, and you're a little not sure where to go find an artist. They are great at brainstorming. And I'm going to keep looking at Jenny because Jenny is part of the Arts Council with me. She is an amazing graphic designer and fine artist, as you can see from her painting behind her. But she is really good at throwing ideas back and forth. One of the beautiful things about artists is we do not believe, or at least this is my personal opinion in the ones that I surround myself with, I do not believe in competition. I don't have competition. I have never had competition. I have friends. I believe in community over competition. There is enough to go around for everybody, and it's definitely out there for you. Okay? I have been lucky enough for the past few years to be able to employ 5 other calligraphers in the local area. And the only way I can do that is by making sure that they feel comfortable and that we turn around and continue to communicate. And I was able to employ 5 of my friends. So if you are looking to pivot or looking to see your business from a different side, one, I would definitely talk to an artist, a writer, a videographer, a photographer, a fine artist, a graphic designer, a content creator. Just brainstorm with them because artists look at the world through different eyes. We see things that most people just take for granted. We are, a lot of us, just people watchers. So, does anybody have any questions? I got cricket. This is awesome.
Well, hey, it's Marilyn. I hope you can hear me.
Yeah, I can.
Nice to meet you. Kimball,
Hi.
It's great to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Is this Marilyn Slinkman?
It is.
Marilyn's my neighbor. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And you know what? I know very little about you. And I was free today at lunchtime. I said, you know what? I'm going to get in on Kimball's lunch. I won't be eating, but I'm going to get in and see what's happening. And there you are. And we must connect because I am an artist. I am a IT professional who left that world to pursue my dream, right, Kimball?
Yes, you did.
I did. And when I was listening to your opening, I said, oh my God, this is a small world. We are kindred spirits. Kindred spirits. So let's soon get together for a coffee and we'll wear masks, and Kimball and whoever else is welcome to join. But she's right. You wanna jumpstart something you're struggling with, call an artist. Especially a woman artist.
So let me ask you guys this. How did you pivot? What is the one thing that you are currently doing now that you were not doing before? And no, Zoom is not an answer.
I'm pushing out video content like crazy.
Okay. How about you, Bob?
Bob, you're muted. You got to unmute.
You can't hear what I said that way. To a large extent, because my husband has got medical issues, I have not done a lot different. It's stayed sort of in.
Okay. Now with Legal Shield, and I'm going to give you a plug. Legal Shield is an amazing, amazing program. So if you have a small business, it is really, really smart to get a program like Legal Shield in your back pocket. I'm all about risk mitigation, and that is one of those risk mitigation because you'll never know when you're going to need it, and when you need it, it will cost you a ton unless you've got Legal Shield or something like that. Now, I understand your husband has some health issues, but how have you been reaching out to your prospective clients? How have you getting people to know, like, and trust you?
Primarily through either Zoom calls, team calls, or phone calls. I don't have a Zoom license, but I am able to, because I'm a Red Cross volunteer, use Teams, and it's the same thing. It's the old Skype.
Okay. Have you seen an uptick in your business?
So far, it's been steady, whatever that means.
Okay. All right. So this is and tell me if you don't want me to go into this because I can move on. This is when I would say talk to somebody like Jenny, or talk to someone like myself or another artist, and just listen to how they see the world. Ask the question, how do you think I should find more clients? You know, or how do you find your clients? Who is the person who buys your artwork? And then sit back and listen, because what they're going to say to you may not exactly pertain to you, but it will give you the spark to get you going in the right direction. Okay? Are you doing lives?
Doing what?
Are you doing any Facebook lives?
No.
And see, that's what I would say. Do a Facebook live. Do a Facebook live. Turn around, give somebody a piece of information about medical bills, because people are getting sick, and how Legal Shield can help you with that. Or now that we're doing so much online purchasing, how Legal Shield can help you with identity theft. And just give the information and put your ask at the end. And don't make it a too hard of an ask. Just be like, if you want more information, call Bob, and here's my number. I'd love to have a conversation. And do the ask. Share this with other people. Jenny, do you have any other ideas for Bob?
Along the same lines, and having the enriched content, even if it's small bites, like you said, show you're an expert in your field and willing to reach out to people. That can even entail blogs as well.
Donna?
Yes.
Okay, so I've seen this logo before, and I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know what it means.
That is, I'm using the Zoom from my nonprofit. The reason I don't have the camera on is because I've been driving this whole time. But that's the nonprofit that I work with.
Okay.
We are a crisis management service and we operate in Fuquay. We service Fuquay and Willow Spring. We assist families that are in financial crisis with utility bills, rent, utilities, prescription drugs, doctor visits, eyeglasses.
Awesome.
Go ahead.
What is your business?
The Painted Chicken.
Okay, I remember you.
And I upcycle.
Right, I met you at WPN.
Yes.
Okay, I don't see a face, so I'm trying to piece this together.
Well, I'm almost home, so I'll put my
And
camera
she is
over
a
here.
very talented artist. I mean, she takes things that nobody would think and makes them into works of art and beautiful pieces.
Okay, Donna, so what have you done to pivot? Because it's kind of hard to have somebody walk into a store nowadays.
Right. So actually what I've been doing is I took this time to take a step back and get some stuff done for myself because you know how that goes. You do things for everybody else.
Whoops.
And like the McKinney advantage this time, I've done some upcycling of things for my own self. I've done some organizing
Donna?
in my garage / workshop, and pulling out some things and I'll just be storing them away until I have an opportunity to start selling.
Now, have you considered selling online?
Yeah, and I may do that. It depends on how crowded things get. but my plan was to get things done and then just have like an open house type thing whenever things are safe to do that.
Okay. So you're comfortable with the way things are going on right now, and that's absolutely fabulous. If you, at any point in time, decide that, hey, I want to do something a little more different, I might suggest to you, artists really do very well when they partner with non-for-profits. So where you do a 60-40 split or 7-30 split, you tend to be able to put an auction out there and say, hey, I'm raising money for X, and let's help me make this, do this ask and fulfill this need. And you have a wonderful non-for-profit faces right there that you may want to. And it also starts you out with, it helps you get your name out there real quick. Real quick.
Yeah.
But
yeah, in fact, I have a couple of pieces that I had already donated to Faces because we had planned to have like a big gala fundraiser that was supposed to be in the first weekend in April.
Sorry, that's
so
my little one.
All of that stuff. I've talked to them about doing an online sale with auction type thing with all the stuff that we gathered back then. So far, they're not in if they just want to hold on to it until we can do the in-person thing.
Okay. Okay, well, I'm going to look forward to that gala. Love to get an invite to that gala. Marilyn. Now,
yes.
I have seen Marilyn pushing and showing and doing lives on Facebook.
So that was a fallout of the COVID. I'm usually meeting people in person, going from store to store, doing classes in person. So I haven't taught a class since February 1st. and all classes have been canceled until November. And that's a huge piece of my revenue is my classes. Even in my house, I have a studio in my house. So I had to reinvent myself for the umpteenth time. And I was really scared, Bob, about doing these Facebook Lives. And the first one or two, not so great. You know, camera angles can be very cruel. So, you know, and I got a lot of feedback from my friends like, God, you look tired. So I realized the camera was too close, you know. But once I started doing these lives, I have to tell you, I picked up a lot of new customers. And one other thing that I've done definitely since COVID was I've been interviewed multiple places, different venues, different bloggers, different hosts, and I participated in a really interesting 9-week commitment, which I was a little nervous to do a 9-week commitment, but it gave me an opportunity to present every week at the same time at the subject of my choosing. So I didn't do it only about what I'm an expert at, pearls and jewelry. I did it on business ethics, salesmanship, because I'm a retired executive and I have very high standards of ethics and salesmanship. And you know what? The general public ate that up. I got more feedback on my topics of ethics in my business. And, you know, and I'm not going to lie, it didn't come natural and easy. I had to do homework. Every week I had to spend time researching the subject to improve my credibility, to solidify my credibility. But it really paid off because you know what? I have a lot of new customers. I always tied it to the end of my presentation on how it affects my business. So I talked about ethics in large corporations and then drilled it down to a small business, an entrepreneur, a solopreneur. How does ethics tie in? How does salesmanship, what makes a good salesperson? I mean, everybody on this call has to be a good salesperson. In whatever format or method is your delivery, whether it's print advertising, showing your face on a live, but I strongly encourage just bite the bullet, do a practice session on your phone, record yourself on your phone, which I did do. And then I played around with lighting. I had a lot of lighting issues. And, you know, I had to learn, how do I look on camera? How do I present on camera? What's going to give me credibility so that somebody might tune in and say, oh, there's Marilyn Singman. I never heard of her. Let me see what she's got to say, because that's your conversion rate right there. New business, new business, new business. So this COVID has allowed me to actually grow about 20%. That's pretty good. And, you know, there are days when I have so many packages to ship. I'm just grateful. I'm thankful and I'm grateful for having to be forced to do lives. Next up, I'm going to have my husband's already set up a YouTube channel for me, and I'm going to be uploading those videos, those 9-week videos to YouTube. Apparently, even though I struggled off camera, you know, it was every Thursday at 10:40 in the morning, I had to be on camera live talking about something and then tying it to my business. It was not easy. It was a huge commitment for 9 straight weeks. And you had to pre-record it like the day before. In case you had technical issues, you could upload your pre-recorded session. So anybody that's not doing that, highly recommend. And mine was with the Raleigh Business Networking Group. And a group I was not a member of. So I joined and then I started doing these weekly things. I picked up quite a few new customers. So classes, that's a whole nother story. I won't even go down that road. But if you haven't done a live, our diligent hostess is spot on with that. It's going to change your business.
All right, let me piggyback on that. If you're afraid to do videos, I joined 3 years ago a Toastmaster group. It was an innovative, brand new Toastmaster group called Video Mojo. We met all the way up in North Hills at ungodly 7:30 in the morning.
Oh.
But it taught me how to feel comfortable in front of a camera. It taught me how to use my technology. It gave me tips and trips for lighting, camera angles. Part of the, it still followed that Toastmaster format, but you had to do it via video. And there was no excuse for you not to be a member and submit a video because, ta-da, you videotape it, you upload it to the Facebook. So if you don't feel comfortable, check that group out. They give you a trial run to come in and visit virtually. They have not met in person yet. They've been just doing all of their programming virtually. And unlike a lot of other Toastmasters group, we never lost a beat. It was like, hey, so I get to sleep an extra hour and then pick up my coffee and go sit on my call with all my Toastmaster friends, because that's what that Toastmaster was. So it's called Video Mojo. It meets Mondays at 7:30 in the morning. If you're afraid, they are a safe group of people who will help you with your technology, help you with your speech, and will help you with your presentation. Okay. Now, Marilyn, you may want to get into this as a teacher, because my business also is teaching calligraphy, and that went out the door. There is no face-to-face teaching. So I'm not teaching at NC State. I'm not teaching at UNC. I'm not teaching through Wake County. I'm just not teaching. But I signed up for Patreon, Maryland, Patreon.
I can't hear it. Something's clackling around. Can you repeat it?
Patreon.
If you're not talking, would you mute yourself?
I just put it in the chat so you can look at it. Patreon. It is a online platform where people pay a specific amount to have access to you. So they can donate $1 a month to you and they get X amount for $1 a month, or they donate $10 a month and they get the $1 a month plus blah, 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 and so forth and so on. And I have one guy who charges $1 a month. He's got only one level. It's $1 a month. He puts his videos on YouTube, but if you want to follow along using the same kind of colors and brushes and blah, 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 he has for $1 a month. You pay for access to get all of that that's already pre-made, so you can download and then follow online. And he's making some really nice change there. You may want to look into that, Marilyn.
I will, and thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Renee English, you're a realtor, correct?
Yes, she is.
Okay. I know people by faces. I'm horrible with names. Like, I will see Bob 10 years from now and be like, I know you, but never remember your name. I could tell you when we met, how we met, where we met, everything, what we said to each other. Can't remember your name. Renee, as a realtor, what have you done to pivot?
Can you guys hear me?
We can now.
Okay, I just got disconnected. I'm riding through the country. I'm sorry. What were you guys?
What have you done to pivot your business?
Meaning keep it going?
Yes.
Well, I will say it's slower than normal, but it really hasn't stopped. So of course, we've had to, improvise and do like video walkthroughs or, a Zoom call instead of meeting in person. But other than that, we haven't had to change much yet.
When you do those walkthroughs, are you considering doing those walkthroughs with like an interior designer?
The only walkthroughs I've really done were either new construction, which were already designed, or rentals. Someone wanting to purchase or to rent. So there isn't really a need for an interior designer for, a walkthrough. But if I'm doing like like we're getting ready to list 2 houses, we do consult with a stager so that, it'll look the best for the pictures and the video that'll go on the listing.
Right, but what I'm talking about is not staging the piece. If you're doing a walkthrough, have you considered doing a walkthrough with an interior designer so that you guys could have a conversation and be like, hey, look at this living room, the light, this would be a wonderful living room if you had this here and that here, or maybe even get innovative and put a giant mural on this 6-foot wall, or this would be a very cute way to put curtains in this room. And just to be able to not only just stare at you walking through a room, but also have a conversation with somebody who could give their insight of what possibly that space could become.
No, never really considered that, just because usually the walkthrough is the first time they see it. So, they're not really interested in talking with an interior designer at that time.
Yeah. I understand.
They either know if it's something that they can work with or if it's not after that first walkthrough. And then we go back and revisit maybe.
Okay. Are you required to wear masks and any particular sanitation or anything for you? Or like what has changed in your, other than it becoming a little slower, Renee?
They advise us to bring, other than wearing our own masks, to bring masks for the clients and gloves and wipes or sanitizer and or not really required. And we hope that each listing agent will put it in the houses that they're listing. But like the last one I went to, they didn't. So I'm glad I brought extra stuff because they want, I think they asked in the remarks that we wipe down every doorknob, but they didn't even supply the wipes. So I'm glad I have my own.
All right. Well, thanks. Good luck, and I hope it picks up. Jenny, I know you're pivoting.
Oh, Jenny, you got to unmute.
Yep. Sorry. Yes. So I did take a little time off in the beginning. I was not only pivoting with the circumstances, but also with being a new business owner and pivoting from just doing art to now doing it full time. So I actually took the time to rebrand myself, to add my design services and redo my website, taking a bunch of classes to see what my options are for doing online videos, and other avenues that I can share with other people to get my name out there. So it was a lot more behind the scenes.
Okay, but what have you started doing now? Because you and I had this conversation. What is your
So since June, excuse me, I've been doing a lot of networking. And yeah.
So I'm going to pick on Jenny right now. When I first met her, she was struggling through her 32nd. And we talked about what to do to grow her business and thinking outside the box. And one of the things I said to her is, your job right now is not actually to make money, but to get known out there and pretty much visit every networking group you can possibly, it's like your full-time job. Every networking group you could possibly get to, do as many one-to-ones as you possibly can get to, keep it to 30 minutes, 15 you, 15 them, and just say to them, you know, in 30 minutes, I've got another call to go to, so I need to respect that person's time too, to be focused. And she said a 30-second on our last Thursday meeting. I was blown away. It was clear, it was concise, I knew exactly what she did, and I was like, who is this person? You know, I need to know this person. You know, they loved the 30-second. She's starting to get referrals. And just, she's out there. That's her job right now. She can't go and do face-to-face meetings, but she's out there doing all the networking. And on top of that, she is helping. She does all the social media and the graphic designs for the Fuquay Varina Arts Council. So, Kimball, I don't know how much time I have.
We've got about 3 minutes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background. All right, March 22nd, we went on lockdown for COVID. March 24th, my father was diagnosed with COVID. April 3rd, my father died. April 11th, my mother died. In between there, I had a cousin who also died of COVID. My brother and my sister-in-law both suffered through COVID, and 2 of my cousins were in the ICU because of COVID. So if you've walking around going, I don't know anybody who's been affected by COVID. Hi, my name is Jessica Yee. I've lost my parents, cousins, and my family has been deeply affected by COVID. Now you know somebody. Okay? I don't care if you're a masker, if you're a non-masker, if you think it's controlling your life or whatever. We today at around 3:00 p.m. are going to hear from Governor Cooper on whether he is going to open our schools. If you know a teacher out there, pick up the phone today and explain this little piece of information to them. If the majority of the teachers in North Carolina stood up and said, we will not go back to school until you give us a real plan, these teachers have the ability to stop and start our economy. We defunded them. We abused them. We need to have some real solutions. Wear a mask, wash your hands. If you can't wear a mask, I will give you a face shield for free. One of my other things is I own an industrial laser and do promotional products. So if you can't wear a mask because you're asthmatic, you have cystic fibrosis, you have whatever issue, call me. I will make you a face shield. There is data out there that says a face shield is almost as effective as a mask. Okay, I thank you, Kimball, for letting me sit here and talk to you and talk to everybody. If you want to talk about how to pivot your business, how to figure out how to get on Facebook, do lives, or sell online, you know what? I know a guy. And sometimes it won't cost you anything. Okay. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for being patient. I appreciate it.
Well, Jessica, I really appreciate that. You gave me, just listening gave a lot of ideas. That was wonderful. And thank you so much for sharing your story, because people need to hear that.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Jessica.
Welcome. And if you ever put that in video form, I'd love to share it. So just let me know.
You got it. You got it.
All righty, guys. I hope you'll join us again next week and bring somebody along. We have a different talk every week, and have a great week. And I just saw something a few minutes ago. Apparently, there was a group of teenagers here in Fuquay that had a big party just before July 4th, and there are already 18 that have tested positive.
Oh, that's why Abbey Roads, Sunny Skies, and Burger King have been closed.
So, you know, it's really more dangerous right now than it was in March. So when you go out, washing hands, keeping distance, and wearing that mask is imperative. And the less you can go out, the better. So be safe out there. And I hope to see you next week. Thank you all so much for coming. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I put my information up there.
Thank you.
Kimbo, did you happen to record this?
I did, and I will send it to you.
Fabulous. Thank you.
I forgot. I had a little blip. I forgot, but you were just at the beginning when I started. All right. You got it, Bob?
Yep.
All right. See you guys later. Bye.